The Jewish Defense Organization basically believes that we teach Jews firearms. We have a regular class around the country. We teach them to use guns because I feel it's better to know how and not have to.
Well, at least you're in a country where they haven't been collected yet, you know, like they were in Germany.
I'm very strong that everyone, Jewish and
teach them how to
non-Jewish,
use knives, you know, switchblades.
I think that people have a right to have a firearm and know how to use it, whether they're Jewish or not. People have the right to defend themselves.
Okay, then what is your credo?
Our credo is, our slogan is to defend ourselves by any means necessary. And that basically means, obviously, there are times when peaceful means can work. Demonstrations, rallies. And there are other times that not such peaceful means.
Okay, I threw a firebomb at an empty Jewish synagogue. Listen to me. You're around. You see that I threw it. I run like a son of a gun, all right? You catch me. What do you do with me when you catch me?
First of all...
What do you do with me?
What we would do with you is put a gun to that person's head who did that, threw that bomb. If they try to fight us, they would be shot in self-defense.
What if they have no gun or anything with them?
If they... Then we would call the police at that point. Now,
Have the guys lying in the pool.
Listen to what I said was, if, listen well, if they put up a fight, which has happened, then I said we would be prepared if it came to a life-threatening situation. If he was armed, obviously.
So what you're saying is you do not espouse violence. You espouse defense.
Defense, in other words, and listen up, if someone, like the kids in Brooklyn whose father and the kid ripped off the father's gun, to go shoot up a synagogue in Long Island in Westbury, and we caught him, that piece of trash would be found if he attacked the synagogue with weapons, as dead as any corpse in the cemetery, like Malcolm X said. You mess with me, you mess with my people, you're messing with death itself. In other words, if you try to kill us...
man, is the talk is so... Hey, I got... Mordecai, honest to God.
If it's self-defense, not if it's not self-defense.
John, let me come to you for just a second. I'm sorry. I hope there's...
firebomb.
What if it were a Jew or firebomb? Then they deserve the same treatment, right?
Good question.
Would you shoot another Jew?
Anyone, whether they're Jewish or not, in this country has the right of self-defense. Now, I believe in the NRA, the National Rifle Association.
All right, I'll do another show on that.
I believe in the right to bear... I believe
if the person were a Jew, would you shoot him?
Anybody...
If the guy is a Jew, would you shoot him?
Doesn't matter what he is.
Would you shoot him if he were a Jew?
Of course I would.
Answer the question.
Of course I would. Because
good for him.
You're a liar.
That's considered
non-Jewish. That's what I'm saying.
That's
you
why
have
you attacked the people in front of the Geraldo studios.
Hold on a second.
You attacked them.
Yes, I did. You know why?
Was it a matter of self-defense?
I'll answer that.
They pulled up in a car. They had the free right
Those
to address themselves. Even you don't like what they say, and I don't like what they say. You attack them.
That
is not an act of
self-defense.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Had Geraldo not put those Nazis on, then there would have never been a fight in the first place.
Wait a second. I've had those Nazis. Wait a second. I'm not going to do the Geraldo show, but I've had those same Nazis and Roy Innes on this show 3 times. There's never been any violence.
You controlled the
never
situation
been any violence.
here. They did.
But couldn't have you have controlled it?
Let me answer that.
When Mordecai Levy was there was the only time there was any violence.
Let me answer that. When we showed up, you're correct. There was violence, and I'll say why. Because if German Jews 40 years ago would have beaten the stormtroopers in the streets, there wouldn't have been ovens and gas chambers. There'd be 6 million Jews alive today.
John, you're a survivor. John, you're a survivor, all right, of the Nazi death camps. Right. You've demonstrated against Nazis your entire life. Do you think Mordecai Levy is doing a service for the Jewish community?
I do not think that his road is a good road. I think that he has good intentions. He believes what he is doing is good. Unfortunately, his methods, his approach is not the right one.
What's the right one?
The issue is not to fight or beat up a Nazi or somebody who does something against the law. The issue is to create a climate in this country or in any country where human beings can live together in harmony, in decency.
Absolutely. I don't know who it was. Someone once said, democracy is a dream, security is a myth. And I think what you have just given us is a dream. I don't think we ever get to, as long as you have as many people of varying degrees of mentality.
Real
You're going-
vigilance
all right.
in the Jewish community.
This is more than a dream. He was a survivor of the Holocaust and in several concentration camps. He has more right to state his views.
He has no more right than
He
you
has
do,
more
sir.
right to state his
No
views
more right than you
an
do.
Irish Catholic and an American-born rabbi.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. No more rights at all.
If
has
he suffered
just,
as a victim
the
at
beauty
the hands
is,
of the Nazis,
the beauty is,
and he
sir, he has
believed that
just
this
as many
climate-
rights.
he
The beauty
believed that
is,
this climate
the
is
beauty
unhealthy.
is, Rabbi, he has just as many rights. No more rights. Because had he been in this country in 1940, he wouldn't have been in the concentration camp in the first place. That's where the rights are. Right? Yeah.
I am the son of Russian Jewish immigrants. I grew up in Lewiston, Maine. At the age of 5, I was beaten up regularly for being a Christ killer by French Canadian Catholics. I tried to convince them at the age of 5, how could a 5-year-old kid like me kill your God? That was taught by the church for 20 centuries, and it wasn't Hitler only who created the ovens. It was the church that created a climate for 20 centuries which said in Europe, with impunity, it is all right to kill Jews because they killed our God.
And for that
Thank
reason,
God
sir.
those days are over.
And thank God they're
Number
over,
one,
sir. Thank
at
God
the
they're
age of
over, sir.
10,
And also, I'm sure you'll
at the age of
recognize
10,
that over 1 million Catholics died
That is
in those
correct.
ovens, too. All right?
many of them,
Yes.
many of them defying the Pope.
Many of them defying
the Pope.
Not the Pope. The Pope did not come out with those words, sir, all right? The Pope also gave sanctuary, if we're going back to Pius, all right? Also gave sanctuary, but waited too long, all right? He waited too long. So there have been a lot of mistakes made, pal. But you
That's
seem
not
to
a
want to
mistake.
live in the past.
That's 20
You want-
centuries. That's not a mistake. A mistake is something.
Do you want me to go into
Tomorrow
some of the
you have to
mistakes that the Jews are making? The new Holocaust they're
What-
committing
what
on the
Jews?
West
You mean
Bank?
the Israelis?
Israelis?
Don't say Jews, say Israelis. Say Israelis.
What is an
Israelis.
Israeli, sir?
It is-
What is an Israeli?
The Israeli government is
Uh-huh.
a sovereign government which has in its
Supported
leadership.
entirely by American taxpayers at the tune of $3 billion, and we're not taking care of our own people here. We'll be back in just a second. Come on. All right. I want to come back to the rabbi first because during the commercial break, the rabbi and I were discussing something. The rabbi said that, Rabbi, so I don't paraphrase, would you explain what you were talking about the two different
I
types?
think there's an overview here, and that is basically that anti-Semitism in America, particularly in America, is an industry. It is
And
big
it's on
business.
the rise, too.
It is big business. We need anti-Semites for major Jewish organizations to survive and thrive. Without anti-Semitism, guys like Mordecai Levy would be out of business. But I think we have to understand that there are two kinds of Jews, and it has nothing to do with a model of Reform, Conservative, Orthodox, or what I am, unorthodox. It has to do with the fact that there are two mentalities. One is the incipient pogrom mentality. The Goyim out there are staying up late at night.
Goyim meaning Christian.
They are lighting
Goyim meaning Christian. Goyim?
Non-Jews.
Yeah. Non-Jews.
Non-Jews are staying up late at night trying to figure out what the hell to do with the Jews who are creating 90% of the culture that all of us enjoy in America.
How much?
And without them,
90%?
and without them, and without the anti-Semites,
Let the man speak. Oftentimes he
and
weaves
without
his
the
own web and
anti-Semites,
hangs himself.
I respect one thing about the black community in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh recently. The
Just one
Klan
thing?
and the skinheads were going to march. The black community 3 weeks ago said if the Ku Klux Klan comes to our neighborhood, they'll march in and they won't march out. Now, I say to you, you think in the Bronx or in Manhattan, in Harlem, the black community would let the KKK come in? No way. Not even a peaceful Ku Klux Klan rally. No group would let themselves get walked on. Those skinheads that we fought who were carrying signs gassed the Jews. It was in the videotape.
Signs.
Yeah, wait,
Not
yes,
weapons.
that's correct.
Not weapons.
Let me tell you
Signs.
something. I had
Signs
a
which were
friend-
used very effectively by Mr. Goebbels for years.
Now,
all right?
I had a friend named Alan Berg. With all respect to the rabbi and you, I say this. Had Jews in Germany, when Hitler was using words and marching, and had not yet put people in ovens, and he had not yet risen to power, had Jews killed Hitler, a lot more Jews would be alive today. So, I don't believe in violence unnecessarily, but against the Nazis or the Ku Klux Klan, absolutely.